Well, to be fair, I haven't owned this car in 3 years, so I thought this is the one with no motor, but all right, so we're backed up. I don't like towing cars from the back, but I don't have time to flip it around either. Luckily, it doesn't have the motor, if I remember right, but this is what we just traded for. So we're gonna get loaded up quickly and get on home. Well, to be fair, I haven't owned this car in 3 years, so I thought this is the one with no motor, but no, yeah, that's a motor right there. So I guess I'll see if this motor's any good first, and then decide on the frame swap possibly. That was just an idea, but anywho, motor's in it. I wish I would not have loaded it backwards. Had I checked it beforehand, I probably would have flipped it around because all the weight's right there at the rear axle now. I'm going to get a little bit of a sway to the trailer, but whatever. It's loaded. We're not going terribly far, so we'll cut speed and take back roads. Anywho, yep. We made it back. No issues. The trailer didn't even sway, which means it was loaded just, I guess, just far enough forward on the trailer. It was okay. But anyway, I forgot this thing has a motor. If I remember right, the motor is not good actually. And the reason I say that is it looks like somebody started tearing it apart on that side. And then it looks like somebody was ready to get it out of here. There's just pieces and parts that lead me to believe that the motor is no good in this thing. That being said, my plan with this whole thing, if I build it, that's a big if, still trying to figure out the wagon. If I build this thing, my plan is to find an S10 or a Blazer and drop it on that. It's been done a ton. It's not that hard. The main thing is just the wheelbase is, you know, between 1 and 3 inches off, depending on what S10 or Blazer you get. And then obviously tying up things on the firewall, we'll lose AC and some of the other stuff. But I thought about doing, it looks like all the things to put the glass back in are in there. I haven't inventoried everything yet. Let me show you. It's just easier. There's glass in the front. Obviously that glass is probably toast, delaminated, whatever. Somebody's already made a different gauge cluster right there by the by the tachometer. The speedo is long gone, and then we have all this back here, parts, pieces, lights, lenses. Again, I'm not sure what exactly is missing. I would actually have to probably go through it one of these days, and I probably will do that. But for now, I think I'm just going to let this one sit. And another thing is, somebody put a sunroof in this thing at some point, it looks like. There's a giant hole up there, and that was used to seal it from somebody else. But I think it would look pretty sick to just leave the, I know somebody's going to get mad, but it's not green on the other side, but it's rusty on this side. Leave the rust, but clean up and paint where enough for a wrap. We'll stick to the inside part and do essentially a Woody Wagon on a Blazer chassis, 4.3 liter V6 that runs and drives. Should be decently fuel efficient. Just have a little hot rod. So that, I think, is my plan. There's green paint still on this side, so it could stick to this side. The back hatch is actually in pretty good shape, and this is probably my favorite part of the whole wagon, is the Willys on the bumper. Really, the major damage points on this car are this fender, which I can fix this fender. It's not much shape to it. I can get pretty dang close, if not fix it all the way. There's some Bondo in there, so there may be some rust, but again, that can be fixed pretty easy. And then the roof is the main problem I see. It's just kind of caved in right there where that area is. It looks like somebody put a lot of Bondo on there. So there's Bondo all over the place if you look hard enough. I think somebody originally was trying to make a little hot rod. Yeah, that's pretty thick Bondo right there. And then there's a hole through right here. But again, if I'm gonna swap it, I may make a roof that's clear all the way through or something. Just kind of cool. I don't know, haven't got that far, but that's probably the worst part of it. The floors are actually in good shape, minus a few pinholes. overall, I'm satisfied with what I traded for it. And again, I'd say I'm gonna probably leave the outside alone and throw it on a chassis and wrap some wood paneling in there. I've never wrapped a car before, so we'll try that as well. Then try to find as much of this chrome as we can and pieces and parts to put it back together. That may be the nickel and dime parts that gets expensive. But yeah, this is so far a waiting new project. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a busy day already. I essentially fell through my trailer floor last night of my swap meet trailer. I'm fine, didn't even barely get a scratch on me. So I fixed that earlier, it was in the way. So that's some of the deckings over here. I need to get the Corvette out, and some of you have seen the new project over here when the wagon is done. I'm gonna kind of get started on it, but anyways, we're doing a little bit of maintenance work on this Jeep for one of my, I'll say, good customers, because I've done several things for them. I just kind of wanted to get a comparison of the two. Obviously the wheelbase, wheel tracks, all different, but you know, kind of cool to see the variation between the two. The grills, the headlights, the round, what would be marker lights, which aren't on the Willys, but either way, still pretty cool to see where they've come and where they've gone. And just like I said, that's not exactly wheel well to wheel well, but it's close. There's a good couple feet off. But just thought that was a cool comparison. We're gonna get the Corvette moved out, get the Jeep in on the rack, and get some brake work done on it. They just bought it, so they want me to go through the brakes because it needs it, and maybe the shocks too. But anyways, we're gonna slowly work on this, and we may, if the frame and the engine and everything sells, we might go ahead and pull the body off. But other than that, I don't plan on doing anything to it just yet. I have the swap vehicle, the swap chassis I'm using will be here tomorrow. I will show y'all. Some of you may already know what that is, and either way it's fine, but I will have that next to it tomorrow. We'll go over that comparison, but I wanted to show y'all just kind of the styling cues that Jeep kept that you don't really think about with the turn signal lenses, the two headlights, the grille, just kind of how they did things. So definitely cool over the years. You know, new things have their place too. So I'll quit harking on that. We'll get started on this Jeep. All right, like any new car you get, you kind of want somebody to go over it. This car clearly came from up north. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there's just more rust and more scale. It's just harder to do things on it. Not a big deal. Somebody has replaced these pads already. Probably not the rotors from the looks of them, but the new pads are pretty new. They're not having a vibration or anything. They just wanted to make sure that they didn't need it. So these front rotors have a little lip, but still got like 50% pad depth probably. So I'm gonna tell them to probably hold off unless they just want me to change them. The biggest thing they need is shocks. Front and rear are absolutely trash. This thing does have a leveling kit that's kind of rusty, but it's solid metal, so it should be okay for a while. This shock back here is probably the worst. It's just scaled off. Surprisingly, it's not leaking, which it might be. Somebody definitely got after it with a black paint. That side's got a new caliper. So somebody's maintained this thing pretty decent, but that is what we will do. We're gonna call the customer and see what they want to do with these brakes, and then probably recommend that they go ahead and get shocks and do those later. All right, I think it got more humid as the sun went down. I am dying in my shop. It's a little warm in here, but customer wanted to not put brakes on the rear because they're almost brand new, but go ahead with the fronts, pads. They did not want to replace the rotors. There's not that much of a lip, so that's fine. We'll pad slap it for them. The main thing they want to do is the shocks, and I don't have access to those tonight because it's obviously past closing time for most stores. Is what it is. So I will have to get those in town tomorrow after work and then put these on probably tomorrow or Sunday. We'll get this job complete. As y'all can tell, it's I'm hot and sweaty. It is what it is. The trailer in this Jeep got me thinking. I think the quote is, if you don't make time for maintenance, your maintenance will take your time later. So something along those lines. I can't remember off the top of my head verbatim, but that is true with both this Jeep and the trailer that I did earlier, which I think I showed y'all. And yeah, sometimes it's not always fun, but that's how it goes. So we're gonna finish this Jeep up another day, because it's not always wagon content, unfortunately. This takes away from the wagon, but this stuff pays for the wagon. So it's kind of a necessary evil. Appreciate y'all watching, helping support. Every watch, like, share, subscribe counts, as y'all know. So I greatly appreciate y'all, and stay in tune. Well, I knew I should have quit while I was ahead. That is a piece of the shock. It is rusted, stuck. So I started having to cut it out, and my cutoff wheel disintegrated halfway through the cut. So I gotta find another cutoff wheel, but yeah, every 30-minute job is a hour-long process once you start screwing up bolts and having issues. This thing clearly came from up north. I knew I shouldn't have started on getting these shocks off, but I'm gonna have to do it sooner or later. I'd rather do it now and have Sunday to work on the wagon maybe. So we'll continue on, get this thing cruising through. Well, fresh off the trailer. I have no clue on mileage, if it runs or anything. It was surrendered, well, it was a repo on a title loan, so we shall see if it runs and drives here shortly. I gotta get a battery or something hot to put on it. My jump box wouldn't do anything, so the battery's probably nuked. It's been sitting a while, but overall, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. Somebody spent money, you know, getting custom tail lights, the headlights. I know there's a stereo wiring under the hood. I don't know if there's speakers in back. I didn't open the door. This wasn't a sight unseen purchase, but I wasn't really able to crank it or anything. So my hope is that I can get this thing running, and if not, then I'll part it out and try to find another one. But I plan on putting this thing besides the Willys down there, so y'all can see the drive lines and stuff. But for now, I'm gonna drop it over here because it's in the shade. Over there is direct sunlight, so we're going to put it over here in my little shaded area for now, at least till we part it out some more. When it gets closer to time, then we'll probably move it together. Back is locked. Okay, well, and I do not see a speaker box, so okay, looks like that was old. You get to see me glare in the window there. Again, also, the main thing I just realized when I was setting this thing, I opened the interior and I was so blinded by all the just junk everywhere. This is a 4x4 chassis, so that's a big win if I can get it to work. I'm assuming I'm going to need certain modules and stuff for that to work, so we may end up keeping everything, probably not the dash, but the gauge cluster, radio, all that stuff we'll probably keep and try to make a home in the wagon. And eventually add AC too, using an inside kit that's smaller. This is not going to fit in the wagon just because it's just too much in there. But that is where we're at currently. I'm gonna get a hot battery here in a few minutes, and then get this tire aired up, clean this stuff out, donate what we can. Underhood, don't know if I showed you all that, but underhood blanket's toast. We'll rip that out and get it out of the way. We got jumper cables ready to go over here. Just gotta get a battery. So there is a cold air intake on this. It looks like the power steering pump has a little leak, and the oil pan looks like it might have a little leak. Not a big deal. Everything else looks pretty okay. Looks like it's got a little bit of new AC, some new AC parts. So that's promising. Most people don't spend money on something if it's no good. So we'll see if she fires over. Well, that's going to probably conclude the Blazer. I got the battery charging, but it is fixing to come a nasty storm, it appears. So going to duck out of here and finish up this Jeep that I was working on the other night, and come back to it. And here's the the two cars finally meet together face to face. We still gotta see if this one runs. It spins over all day, does not start, so that's not great, but not the end of the world either. It could be something simple. We'll diag that later. Ignore the shocks on the hood. Those shocks came from that Jeep and it was rusted out, so they're about to pick that up, and I wanted them to be able to see the rusty parts. But anyways, so we have almost brand new tires on this S10. Odometer says 270,000 miles. I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe a different motor. But I was told I found some mail in the car from again, this is a repo car. I found some mail. I also found an old phone. I messaged them on Facebook to say, hey, you know, I ended up with this car. Do you want any of this stuff back? Long story short, they're no longer in town. They said just to throw it away. No big deal. And he was super nice. And I said, hey man, does this thing run? He said, yeah, I used it for my hunting vehicle. Every now and then it just wouldn't want to start. So we'll figure that out, what the problem is. But we cleaned it all up, got all the stuff out of it. So everything is pretty much out of it now. There is a leak, I guess, somewhere in this windshield area as the floorboard is wet over here. But, well, we got it all cleaned out. A guy is buying, we're already starting to part this thing out. A guy is buying the passenger door and passenger fender from me probably sometime next week. So those will be gone. And then we can start getting the rest of these parts and pieces off and get the process of that, getting the blazer body off as well, and stripping it down and labeling the wiring and what we're going to need. But yeah, again, just about brand new tires. And the blazer's a little far forward, but you get the idea. Pretty close. Hopefully those parts come in to get the blazer sorted today or sometime this week. I went ahead and got a new distributor cap, rotor button, and coil because it felt like the coil was getting hot. So something's going on with the ignition is my guess. That or the timing's really off. But either way, we'll get that sorted, and then if it runs, great. If it doesn't, then we will probably keep some stuff off this that's good, such as the brand new wheels and tires, and we will find another one and part this one out.